Here is something that took me far too long to find out in this business, and it's abundantly obvious to me now, but you don't need more investors, you need better investors. So in today's episode, we are going to keep this very short, very sharp. I want it to be tactical, 5, 6, 7 minutes at max, and we'll go through 3 things. I want to have a look at why you want to work with premium investors. I want to talk about the headache that you will dodge when you do decide not to work with them, and then where you actually go to find them. So with that in mind, pour yourself a coffee, pour yourself a cup of tea, something stronger if needed, and let's dig into it. The trap that almost every new property sourcer falls into is chasing numbers, more leads, more names on a spreadsheet, more people to spam and DM. And then you end up, running around like a headless chicken, working with investors who were never going to buy off you in the first place. We've all dealt with those type investors, those cowboy investors, but a premium investor is a completely and utterly different beast. They are serious. The money is ready to go. It is accessible today. They understand the numbers. They understand that you charge a fee for your service. They understand that there will be an onboarding fee attached to it. And they understand all of this before you even really have to open your mouth. And the one thing about all of this that actually changes everything is that a good investor, a premium investor, doesn't buy just one deal. They buy several. They buy again and again and again. So one quality premium relationship can be 3, 5, 10 deals over the course of a year or two. And certainly in my experience, when I was on the come up building my sourcing business back in 2016, it wasn't actually a multitude of loads of different investors that allowed me to earn £123,000 on maternity leave. It was having a small roster of premium investor clients who were buying 3 and 5 deals off me at a time. So instead of hunting a brand new investor for every single deal, you are sourcing for people who already trust you, who already know you, who already like you. So then that gets you off the hamster wheel, and that's exactly what allows you to build a predictable and sustainable business. Now, take a second and think about the maths. Would you rather chase 50 strangers for one deal, or would you rather look after 5 serious investor clients who come back to you for more every quarter? I know what side of the coin I am choosing. And that in itself is the whole game. And I say this to you again, and I say it to you regularly. When you're in the business of property sourcing, I want you to chase freedom, not the fees. And freedom comes from a small handful of investors who genuinely value what it is that you do. Deadly serious here. Let me tell you what disappears when you work with the right people. And I wish I had learned this sooner, but I learned it nonetheless. You will avoid dealing with investors that pull out at the last minute. We've all dealt with one of them. You've packaged the deal up, the agent's expecting you to move quickly, and then all of a sudden the investor goes quiet, or all of a sudden his finance situation change, or all of a sudden he or she needs to speak to their partner. Premium investors do not do that. Premium investors just don't operate that way. They made the decision to invest and buy the deal before they met you. The other thing that you avoid when you're dealing with a premium investor is someone trying to haggle you down on your fee. I have been on the receiving end of this many more times than I would like to even remember in my early days. Amateurs argue over every penny of your sourcing fee because they don't understand the value. But a premium investor knows a good deal makes them money for decades, and your fee that is attached to it is simply the cost of business, period. And then the other thing, or the other pitfall that you avoid when you are dealing with the right caliber of investor is, the fantasy of finance. So many deals collapse because buyer never actually had the money in the first place. Proper investors have the funds in place, or they have a broker that they can pick up on speed dial and it will be arranged. Now, what I will say, and this is important, premium investor clients doesn't mean that you get to skip doing your homework. You still have to qualify. You still have to ask the hard questions up front. You still have to ask, are you planning on doing this cash or finance? Do you have proof of funds? Can I see proof of funds? What is your criteria? How quickly are you looking to move? But if you get clear on that at the very start, then you never waste another week of your life on the wrong person. But the part that I know some of you have been waiting for listening to this podcast episode, and I need to clear something up because it does trip people up constantly. Your deals and your investors are two completely separate pipelines. So do not try and mix them up. Your agents, certainly if you've been following me for a while in my content, you will know that my agents are my number one preferred channel for accessing solid off-market opportunity, both letting agents and estate agents. But your agents are where your deals come from. They are not where your investors come from. An agent isn't going to hand you their buyers. Why would they? If their buyer is actively looking, the agent is best placed to, serve them directly, and that is their business, and that's fair enough. So where do these premium investors actually come from? Well, the first place is referrals from your existing investors. One good investor knows another good investor. They maybe go to golf with them. Maybe their kids go to the same school. Maybe they run businesses with them. A happy client is the best salesperson that you will ever have. So ask for the referral. The second place is the professionals around investors. Essentially, they're gatekeepers. So we're looking at mortgage brokers. We're looking at accountants. We're looking at solicitors who act on behalf of landlords. These people know exactly who's building portfolios right now and who's got money looking for their next investment. So what I really want you to do is become their trusted strategic partner, and you will never be short of investor queries and clients. The third place that you can have a look is existing landlords who want to scale. So the ones that maybe have 2 or 3 properties, but they are very much stuck in the mud and in the weeds of doing everything themselves, you can come in there and sweep them off their feet and solve that problem for them. You can come in and essentially relieve them of wearing all the hats and being in the weeds and do it for them. The next place that you can find these premium investors is by showing up online, which is something that we hear all the time, but LinkedIn especially is a great place to start. And I do not mean spamming strangers. I mean sharing what you know. The best advice that I ever give any of my own mentee clients is don't try and reinvent the wheel with your social media, and don't try to act as though you're something that you're not. I don't want any faking it until we make it. But certainly the best form of marketing on social media, particularly on LinkedIn, is documenting what you're doing, being open and honest and transparent on it. And then we've got events, networking events, whether it is property networking events, business networking events, Chamber of Commerce networking events, but serious buyers show up in person. And then how does your agent piece fit around that? So your agent relationships obviously are not how you find investors, but they are what makes investors choose you. Because when you've got genuine off-market opportunity that a buyer cannot get by walking into the agent themselves, then that becomes your USP. That becomes your magnet. That's the whole reason a premium investor works with a portfolio builder instead of just ringing the agents around all day. You bring them what they cannot get their hands on their own, and you bring it completely packaged, completely client. The numbers are done. They have nothing to do. So the deals pull the investors in. The agents feed you the deals, and it all connects in that manner. But it's not the same job. And notice what was not on my list today. No direct to vendor marketing, no letters, no leaflets, no bandit boards, no below market value nonsense, no cold calling people's doors at tea time in the hope that they are dying and you can buy their house for cheap. Absolutely none of that nonsense. So there it is, 10 minutes, 2 or 3 things that you can concentrate on as we head into the weekend and prepare yourself for another week. You want premium investors because a few great relationships, promise you, will beat 100 tire kickers. I know it because I've built it. You will avoid pullouts at the last minute. You will avoid them trying to haggle you down on price. You will avoid them suddenly not being able to get their hands on the finance. And you find them through referrals. You find them through becoming strategic partners with their gatekeepers, the professionals around them. You find these premium investors by tapping into existing landlord markets and showing up where they already are, while your agent relationships keep you stocked with deals that make them say yes. So here's your homework. Pick one of those this week, just one. And if you were to hold a gun to my head and say, Danielle, which one should I focus on? In all honesty, my advice would be to focus on becoming strategic partners with the professionals that protect these investors. I think it will pay you very well. Okay, time to put me down, drink up your tea, drink up your coffee, and go do the work. See you next week.